Hey, beautiful people, a real life lesson from a court case which details audio evidence that was tendered for the purpose of showing the bias and internal essence of what these municipal police employees engage in. See, when I constantly tell you that merely calling yourself a title means nothing, but you have to know how to stick it to them and truly make them hurt, what you're about to hear, which is an actual thing that occurred to someone that was caught on record, is what these people have as a state of mind against you. So when I constantly tell you it's important to be competent rather than calling yourself something, and that most of these municipal employees, they are as dumb as a rock and they know no better, and once they're conditioned internally to behave and think a certain way, they do just that, and they will treat you with impunity like a slave. This is a case of someone who basically did nothing, but based on a presumption that, oh, Moors do this, Moors are belligerent and they're ignorant. And of course, they've dealt with many so-called Moors who wear fezzes and turbans, but know nothing. Therefore, they've concluded, these people are just faking the funk. They know nothing. They're just ignorant. So we'll treat them however we want. And if we see the slightest expression of someone who looks like what we want to categorize as a Moor or a Nawabian, we'll treat them with impunity and use it as an excuse to justify it, even though all that is unconstitutional, because that's based on the abrogation of religion. And if you want, you can even take civil actions of 42 USC, whereby discrimination of religion, ethnicity, and culture. But listen to this, so you realize what I always mean when I tell you, know what you're doing beyond merely calling yourself something. Because these people on the other hand are, for the lack of a better term, they're stupid. And when dealing with stupid people, competency is how you kick their butt. If you are on the same state of mind and you are as incompetent as they are, the dumb one who has the culture and the funding and the reputation of some big corporation behind them will kick your butt. The only way you can kick their butt is to really know what you're doing, so that when they bring this trash, you take what is theirs and make them an example. But before they make you an example, before people begin to state claims about saying, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this status, I'm this bloodline, know what you are doing first before stating that claim. Make what you're doing the core of your claim, rather than the title or the name being the claim. What's in your mind should be the core and qualifying factor of what you claim, not that the title that you claim is the end-all, made-all qualifying title. Here's the state of mind of bigot, that those who wear uniforms and carry badges, this is the state of mind that they've been internally conditioned. And this is why and how they treat people with impunity, just based on some argot, which is just some language or lingo that people use to refer to themselves. Know what you're doing beyond what you're calling yourself. Listen.
More.
More? Yeah. That's what I told him. I said, yo, you must be black. He's like, what? No, you know, something else. I just said, oh yeah. I said, because I said, interesting, it's contradicting what you're supposed to be about. I said, because war is not recognized the Constitution.
Did you hear that? This is after they've arrested that man or woman, and they're discussing amongst one another, almost like a little personal employee gossip, that we know Moors don't enforce the Constitution. You're saying you're a Moor, but we know Moors don't enforce the Constitution. That's what they're saying. If you know anything about that term Moor, you will know that man-made and spiritual law are the core of what makes a Moor. Simple, nothing more, and no pun intended. And guess what? There are plethora of people out here who are claiming, I'm a Moor. They say they're a Moor, Yet, in the same conversation, they will tell you, oh, the Constitution means nothing. Those are the one who role play church and hang and swing on the ball of someone who is in the grave. Yeah, you can invoke ancestral spirit, but for you to invoke ancestral spirit, your own essence and spirit must merge with theirs to be on the same rhythm. If it's not, then you're just playing church and you're just claiming something. And most of these people that just claim things, they just put on turbans, they put on fez, and they say they're one thing, but they are incompetent and empty in the head. Absolutely empty in the head. They're the ones who are quick to tell you what's your nationality. But if you ask these people basic doctrines, test, standard, element, or basics of how constitutional principle works, they are empty, bird brain. These type of people are the ones that go around claiming to be Moors and have created a redundant consistency amongst tortfeasors whereby they're confident saying, hi, if someone claims to be a Moor, one thing or the other, we can take advantage of them because we know they don't know jack shit about law. That's what they're discussing amongst one another herein. This is the reason why I always say be competent. Let education lead everything you do before you begin to throw around buzzwords, or else tortfeasors will take advantage of you. Listen to this.
I believe you. I don't know anything about the call, but I do believe you.
They know nothing about what happened or the premise, but hey, so long as we think this guy is something, we already know even if we're wrong, he or she is incompetent. We can get away with it. So just falsify the police report, sue him in a municipal court. He's not going to be able to even dismiss the case, let alone do the proper thing like do a basic constitutional challenge, do an affirmative defense, put in judicial notice, do simple things like certificate of service, serve all the parties, send to the proper parties, put in certified copies of things, and actually show up and kick their ass. And then do some spiritual work to make us hurt a little bit and, take some of our fortune and add to his as a result of our action. Not that he's deliberately doing anything to us, but each act that we've performed will be equivalent to some spiritual things that will leave us as good fortune and go to him. He's not going to be able to do any of that because, well, he's just a Moor by claim only. He's not a Moor by true function. So, I don't know what's really going on, but I believe you. Just act as a tortfeasor and get away with it. That's what they're saying among one another.
I don't know anything about the call, but I do believe you. Did he ever?
And they laugh at you. Why? Because most people who claim to be Moors are really not competent. The ones who are the exception listening to this would not feel insulted by this. The ones who this applied to will feel insulted. This is for you. Listen, this is what they think about you. And this is how they treating thousands of you in this land of the free. You deliberately, in your supposed purported act of saying you are free, you are enslaving yourself and everyone else. Don't take the state of mind of a Negro or some group somewhere by some minorities and bring it to another realm where you just wear fez or you carry the title Bay L, but you don't let competency and your true spiritual core precede you. Then you are still lying to yourself. If someone is not telling you the truth, I'm here to tell you the truth. Stop being delusional. These tortfeasors are being comfortable every day. Why? Because most people choose to not let competence precede them. They have this sense of entitlement that someone owes them something. They want the quick way out. They want to just put some title, call themselves something, and hope someone just hands them templates and hope that's it. You will keep getting your ass kicked by tortfeasors. Dumbasses who are not as smart as you will keep kicking your ass. Why? Because you choose to not do your due diligence and actually let competence and education precede you. Listen to this.
So he said he's not Moors. Did he say he's Muwabi?
He didn't say.
See, these are the premise that they look for. They know most people are just using buzzwords. The moment you use certain buzzwords and you don't let your competency show what you are, so much so that even if you know what you're doing, the presumption is once you look a certain way, you will fall under a certain scrutiny of them to act maliciously and arbitrarily. Why? Because they're being trail of incompetent people calling themselves certain things but not knowing anything. These are the foundation that they will have this conversation internally among one another to determine, do we treat this guy with and engage in tort or not? It's supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be that if you claim certain things, people will be apprehensive to do certain things towards you. But most people only merely claim and don't have the proof of that claim, which is competency. Therefore, what they look for now is, do you have to claim? Are you calling yourself certain status? Oh, cool. That's the green light for us to act as we will. This is a lesson to everyone. You might be listening to this years to come. You might just be newly introduced to all these things in all these social media groups. You might think you're a veteran because you've read billions of PDFs, you've had billions of conversations, you went to different seminars. I am letting you know, let competence precede you. Otherwise, tortfeasors will keep getting comfortable and keep kicking your ass. Competence and education, the proof of the truth of how things work. Let competence and education precede anything you call yourself. Otherwise, you would just be making empty threats. You'd be making empty claims of being certain things, and you would not know how to operate with it. You'll be sending a bunch of paperwork. It will only incriminate you. So you think that merely doing a name change or calling yourself something else is going to get you off? They can still issue warrant if it's still linked one way or the other to the Nsligas in their system. Just a food for thought based on real life circumstances that you need to be aware of. Until next time, take care. Best of luck.
I have a Patreon page and I'm inviting you to come join. For you interested in discharge, we show everything about how it's done and my own experience. Consistent posts are made explaining many things regarding said discharge. Many will seek and simply wouldn't find. Those dealing with mortgage issue or want to know more about it, we speak of it. For those dealing with basic stuff like traffic issues, we speak about the solution and I show it from my own experiences and how I permanently prevent any such issues. Those worrying about trust, different types of trust, we go over so many things consistently. Regarding trust, we show the IRS manuals. Those who are interested in suing and making money through debt collection or other means, we go over it, we show it. I show my own settlement checks and the things that I've done as a personal experience. Those interested in banking, we show subtle details and intricacies of the things that I have learned. For those interested in other things like the IRS forms and how to put it to use, we show it, explain the details. For those interested in court-related matters and intricacies, we always show it. For those interested in the spiritual aspect of things and how it works, we show and explain it. Those with child support matters, we explain and we show everything in detail also. Great puzzle pieces that can never be found in other social media platforms, but we explain it all as it relates to many different things. For those interested in express trusts and the issue of how not qualifying for taxation, which I call dinking, how it relates to any other type of trust or any other affairs and how you can intertwine your affairs into the different types of discharge that exist and lack of qualification for taxation. Speak about it. The truth about really recusing attorneys and the whole foreign agent registration and attorney lawyer number, we speak about it. Speak about how to really bring about juries, and some of the comment section asks good questions and greater answers are given. Speak about how to get and use tax exemptions for vehicle use and sales. You don't have to belong to some organization. You can actually get yours according to the language of the legislature within your state. Go over the details that a lot of people mentor about regarding Article 1, Article 3. What really makes a court? It's not limited to just your paperwork. Most people don't know. We go over business matters for those with actual businesses, S Corp, C Corp, LLCs, those who are business minded and those who make money. Go over other things that a lot of people don't know functions internationally. We speak about a lot of other spiritual related matters. Details on how to bring criminal charges, what it truly means to bring criminal charges, what a bill of particulars is, how to recuse a judge, details of the parliamentary rules in court and legislature, different things about standard of evidence and burden of proof, different things that a lot of people will speak of. Discovery. But did you know there are 6 types of discoveries? You know how to intertwine your LLCs and S Corps with an express trust, how to not make them taxable. Do you know when Trinity versus Pagliaro really is involved? Do you know how to use your home as a home office? And the many, many details involved. Go over the injunction and how to enforce the different types of injunctions that exist. The intricacies of how data brokers exist and how they steal information. Not just the credit bureaus, but many, many data brokers and how you can prevent them. We go over grants, getting grants. We go over issues and solutions of CPN and how they're created. There are about 4 to 5 different parts that were created. We go over caveats where people say sue them, but they don't really know. We go over the things to do after you sue them. We go over the issues of privacy and technology. All the whole thing about perfection of security interest, UCC, and how to use it and how to monetize the birth certificate, all that. We go over the details. There are a lot of principles and doctrines people don't know about that we go over. Go over how to really do the copyright and the details involved in it. Go over how to simply do a trademark. It's far more easier than you think. All these people telling you go to a trademark office, do this, write this letter. It's not that difficult. Go over how to fill out the GSA bond box at a time. And so many more. How to get settlement checks, how to put your vehicle in a trust. I show you from my own experiences, form for form, step by step. We go over the different types of relief to be granted. The type of relief you seek invokes the type of jurisdiction that you fall under. All these people speaking about chancery, equity, at law, common law. The relief that you seek is directly tied to the type of jurisdiction. We go over the CPN, how it's created. Go over how to obtain bonds, where to do it. Go over the different types of discharge and some more. We explain each of those types of discharge. We explain how trademark and copyright is affiliated with asset protection. We go over how to prove trust. We go over the different types of fraud. We go over the importance that many people will never know. So many more. I show my own experiences in the audio calls from court cases of how I get different types of settlement checks. Go over the different types of discharge. There's so much more that it can't even completely be spoken of here regarding trust. We go over how to create it step by step and many more things that will never be shown on YouTube or any other platforms. Go over other principles that people don't know about. And they speak about statute of limitation. Well, fraud does have a statute of limitation, but do you know how to subvert it? As to why that phrase fraud has no statute of limitation to bring it to life, most people don't know. There's so many things that we speak about. We speak about how to garnish people's checks and people's property. There's a form that you use for that. People don't know about it. Speak about details regarding foreign trustees. Speak about spiritual related matters. And on the Instagram page, if you get to join, come on over. There's also a Facebook page where questions and answers are posted and other reminder links to certain videos are shown. Till next time, take care. Best of luck.